Wu-Tang, you say forever. Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. Where's the energy? It's right here. That's the energy. Come on. Is the energy right here? Is the energy right here? Put your middle fingers up. Fuck the world. Let's go. Bring the motherfucking ruckus. Bring the motherfucking ruckus. Bring the motherfucking ruckus. Bring the motherfucking ruckus. No space. That's the blast of the high first. Blast first, leave the house. Touch like an elephant tusk. Your head rush. Fly like a ship's in bust. Oh shit. Wu-Tang Clan spark the whips and I love her. Smash and attempt this night fiction. Full of terror. We damage your whole era. Hard rocks is like the fuck up. A fair shit. Heroes down.
In these crazy
Good
times,
morning,
the world
good evening, and good after woos. Y'all are gonna know what I mean. Do you like that, Dan? Do you like that, Dan?
Well,
You,
now you have to.
you like that? You are listening to yet another awesome, amazing, incredible episode of the Heroes of Noise. I am one half of this awesome, amazing group. My name is Steve.
Oh, look at you. Right out the gate. Just talking, ladies and gentlemen, and this isn't the guy I was just talking to. So let me try a little bit of that. What it is, what it was, what it shall be, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dan Ramirez. Welcome to Heroes of
Let me
Noise.
tell you something. Dan is normally right. We're going to do a really loosey-goosey
Under
show
our
because
belts.
Dan had a concert
And
he went
actually,
to that
there's
was
more than
pretty
that because we do the
epic.
extra stuff. Too. So
Especially,
I
I think the only people that liked the concert
How's
more than
everyone
Dan
doing?
were black women who could not stop talking about how
closing in.
fine Method Man was. And I was like, okay, can someone make a clip of him rapping maybe? But that was it was almost like trending, that concert on Shoreline.
Yeah.
For me, I've always liked Meth. I thought he was always great. I thought he was always a shining star in Wu-Tang. I
will
was
say
like,
this, dude. He's on.
I
top
hadn't
of
heard
his
him for
game.
so
I don't know
long
about
that my
the fine
brain he
part,
might have
let the
lost
ladies
his step.
decide that,
But you're
or men,
saying
whoever,
that he
but
did
he's
not.
on top of his
And
game.
people, we're going to do a loosey
Dude
goosey
was
because
killing
Dan went
it.
to a legendary concert, and he told me, Dan is normally right. He said, Steve, you may want to go to this one. And I'm like, yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure, for sure. Now I should have freaking went. Dan, can you tell? You ain't no joke. See what I did there?
In one ear, out the
Listen,
other.
okay, Dan, so tell us from jump,
When will you learn
get
to take me
picked up,
seriously, man?
how are you feeling on the way to this? What happens? Give us the rundown of this concert, dude.
Yeah, you're just full of it this morning, man. I got to catch up to that. All right, so I went with Shawn from Horribly Awkward Podcast, and we met Chris from Attention Deficit Order Radio
Yes.
in Mountain View, okay? I did the driving, so Shawn shows up at my house around 12:30. Actually, not around, 12:30 on the nose, and we're out. So it was weird too, man, just to kind of give you I don't know what it was, like we had a really good conversation the entire time, right? And I think that's what was throwing me off because I have made this trip, gosh, 30 years? I think I've been doing this trip. And in that trip, I made 4 wrong turns. Like 4, didn't take the exit, had to go forward. It was weird. So I think that I think I'm giving credit to Shawn on that one because like we just talked the entire time. It was a great ride up. So we get there. We meet Chris in the Century 16, I believe it is, parking lot. It was like a drug deal or something. We meet in this parking lot. He's just hanging out in the bushes waiting for us.
True.
We go have a drink at this bar because we're waiting. We're like super early, right? And we decide, all right, let's go and we're going to head to the parking lot. Go to the parking lot. We're probably the first of maybe 20 cars. That's not a lot when you consider the size of this parking lot. But we get there and we start recording. And if you guys want to hear that, that'll be at the end of the Attention Deficit Order Radio podcast as well. I don't know when. We're probably going to end up doing some kind of a recap on Horribly Awkward maybe this weekend. So there's more to come on that. But if you want to hear that recording,
400,
I believe, of the ADO Radio this week's episode, which is their 400th episode, by the way, dude. Is that crazy? 400 episodes, dude. 8 years nonstop. I'm impressed.
Goodness.
To be quite honest with you. Yeah, they have 17 seasons. Yeah, I know.
Can I rewind real quick?
One for a while too and pondered.
Tell me about the drive.
Here we are at 74. Can you imagine us like 400?
No, I'm saying like what y'all talk about.
I don't know if we'll make it at this point. We'll see. So we get there. We start recording. We record for about an hour, and sure. Well, Steve, we were doing around 75. You know, honestly, we just got to know each other because we really only know each other from the show. And then that one time that we hung out.
Wait a minute. We
just kind of got to know each other, man. We talked about a lot of shit that I honestly wouldn't talk about on the podcast. We really got to know each other as people. So a lot of personal stuff was said. But I did find out that
he
Shawn
raps
is a bit of a recording artist.
Oh, does he want to see
like
your, does he want to see your boy right now, Jay? Does he want to come over and see your boy?
I said that. But no, he showed me probably, I don't know, maybe
I'm sorry, what is
tracks?
Oh, short for collaborate. I'm joking.
He raps, dude. He makes his own beats.
This dude goes to Wu-Tang and he's like, I don't know, man. You might have to hit on some tracks of Khaleesi. I'm like, oh, man, this dude came back from...
I don't know, man. I think you guys might have to collab. Yeah. I was waiting. Thank you.
Oh, I love this show.
I was just breaking down the word halfway and figured I would wait for your
give him to send me some tracks.
Snarky comeback.
I'm so not used to just having to be able to do that
man.
to people that we talk.
Honestly, we talked a lot of stuff personal that I would not bring up on this podcast, at least on this version of the podcast.
No, it's just like a year and a half ago, if we wanted to get in touch with people that we talked to, we'd have to go through weird loops and jump through hoops to get them to respond. Now we like have people that we like
between the two
that
shows.
We know. It's still weird to me, and I love
that concept.
It's just amazing. Yes.
That's how I met him. I reached out to him because he was another Fresno podcaster. That was really where it started. And, you know, we've been bullshitting ever since. But it was the first time that the three of us actually got to hang out in physical form. You know what I mean? And it was cool. I had a really good time with those guys. I think I joined the Too Much Fun Club that
evening. Here's my question,
dude.
But
other than that,
when you're
cool. And we
driving down there,
so I didn't
part of you saying,
but I had to kind of
well, I just want to get to know these guys, or is a piece of your Dan mind thinking we should record this?
My words are disappearing. It was one of those nights. Yeah. Well, that's definitely the case. We had already talked about it ahead of time.
Oh, for sure. But you did that at Halloween Horror Nights and it sounded fine.
Sometime, right? So I brought the Zoom H5 and it sounded really good. I was actually
surprised. I know. Oh, you use real mics
at this one. But you know the kid. I had the little
that's
win.
Interesting. I thought it sounded good with the... Because every time I've seen it used like on YouTube, they're always just using the mic that's on it, and they use it like a microphone. Like they put it to their mouth, then to the other person's mouth. And I'm like, man, that sounds amazing.
I used XLR mics in this thing. We had 3 mics plugged in.
If you're in a closed room, they're in a closed like place. So probably if you're out and about, it does sound better if you have a mic.
It does sound good, but this definitely sounds better.
And so you guys did I know you guys did a quick parking lot podcast. Now,
Horror Nights,
were you one of the first on the lawn? Because 20 cars is nothing, dude.
Sound like when we go into the haunted houses and things like that, sounded fantastic. But our conversations, you couldn't even really hear them.
Okay. Oh, is it assigned?
Well, I mean, more cars got there by the time we were done. It was time they opened up the gates and we walked in. But
get right to
going to the Shoreline Amphitheater so many years, I'm used to walking in the places. You got to find your spot. Like you have to sort of shimmy in between people. Well, I'll get to that. yes and no. The lawn is not really assigned. Yeah, well, now, though, they have this thing where they're doing parking lot upgrades.
Oh, wait a
parking
minute.
lot. We were in the parking lot when I found out about the upgrades.
Oh,
Sorry,
wait a minute,
It's a lawn
bruh.
upgrades. So
What?
for like 25 extra bucks, they're just putting out.
Oh,
they have these
dude, I would have been
They're
all
like 10
over
bucks.
that.
But they have a row of maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 6 rows or something like that of rent-a-chairs. That's all reserved and like blocked off.
Yeah,
at
for
the
sure,
very
for sure.
bottom
and
of the
also,
grass.
I would probably spend my whole
Yeah.
time standing.
We were gonna do it,
because
but
I
we
just
decided
want
not
to. You're jamming. Y'all are probably all standing and like
I gotta
jamming,
be
like
honest with
yeah.
you, it really wasn't
Okay,
that
cool.
bad because there's screens. So we had a really good spot. We were higher up on the grass, so you can see everything. Yes, that's the thing. So it really wasn't worth it. But we did look into. Shawn was like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna go and check out the upgrades because I think that we can get down there for maybe like because there's like stage, then level 1, then level 2.
It's a massive place, dude.
Then there's like a walkway and then the grass." So he was like, I'm thinking we can get down to level 2 for just a limited amount of money. But they were kind of promoting that a lot, and he had never been there before. So quite honestly, I think he might have got a little discombobulated walking around there because it's not. It's massive, but it is not massive. But I could see the point because a lot of people did end up showing up to that show. So he was like, I went over there and wasn't even sure where to start. The lines were crazy. So we were like, that's fine. We were totally fine with it.
Yes.
I'll tell you one thing though, man, and I mean this. I think I told you this, but no hyperbolic statements whatsoever. That was literally the most
sure.
weed I have
For
ever
sure.
seen and smelled at a concert before. It was crazy. Like there, you think about it. You're in an outdoor amphitheater, right? And we're at the very top, and you could see like a cloud, like just a haze of smoke covering the entire amphitheater. And I'm not exaggerating. It was
for sure, dude.
crazy.
For
there
sure.
was one point,
For sure.
where I was
Especially
like,
considering
can we go
the
10
place?
seconds without some. I mean, it wasn't bugging me
Because I know, like,
Can we go
you
10
know,
seconds?
I guarantee since
Without
you've been to a
smelling
million
something in front of
concerts,
it.
you've been to a million concerts at a million venues.
And it was a really,
you'll be able to
like,
look at the venue and be like,
vibe.
I know what crowd's
There
going to
was
be
more
at
white
what
people than black
concert.
people at that show.
There's. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Something's happened though. And Chris made me aware of that. Well, I mean, I've gone a couple of times. I think the last time I was on the lawn at Shoreline was probably
Oh, it's the gentrification.
2016 for the Foo Fighters. And I'm sure it was happening at that time, but by the time we got there, the place was packed and we were feeling
Yes.
no pain. But something's happened. That area right there, because everyone keeps moving into that area. Google is right next door. It's literally next door to the Shoreline Amphitheater. Dude, it is like .comer
Yes.
central. Or like everyone there are like hipsters.
Of course.
Upper level
Of
and
course.
lower level.
Yeah.
That was all like expensive seats, and there was a lot of, I don't want to say douchebaggery because everyone
Yeah. And
was
also,
super cool.
I think
the
that
vibe
like
there
if
was
you're doing a
fantastic.
concert,
But
they did it there on purpose
there was
because
a
they
lot
knew
of
the
like, hey,
douchebags
look
would
at
come
me
and
kind of
sell it
people
out
there.
without a
You know
shadow
what
of a
I mean?
doubt.
And that's the one thing
Normally,
that I noticed,
mean,
like, okay,
if
so
De
that's
La
changed.
Soul
So
and
that
Wu
has
Tang
changed,
wants like
and
their
then the reserve
hardcore
lawn thing
fans,
has changed
they're
since I've
gonna
been
do
there.
it somewhere else, and you'd probably see the venue and you'd be like, I've been there, and yes, that is totally a De La Soul Wu-Tang Rakim venue. That's more of the. But also, you got to understand, where else could they go? When I'm really being real,
Yeah.
Wu-Tang pulls fans, dude. Like, they can do a festival. So if you have Wu-Tang and the God MC Rakim and De La, like, where could they do that? It wasn't sold out?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I thought they sold out.
No, it's the perfect venue. I think it's like 22,000 people. It wasn't sold out, but it was pretty damn close by the end of the night. So I think that was the perfect venue for them to do it. No, but it was close, dude. Very close. Yeah. Put it this way, bro. There was enough people there for me. Like on the lawn, because we're there. We have probably like
Who opened?
maybe like a 10-foot space either way. You know what I mean? We're just kind of like posting up and trying to keep that ours. And we were like, oh, this is going to be easy because no one was showing up yet. And they didn't start showing up until after, probably like when Eric B and Rakim came on. That's when they started showing up. Well, God, what was his name?
Wrong.
I wanna give
You
this
do
guy
not
credit.
know
He
who
wasn't
he is.
bad, dude. Like,
Wrong.
he came out and he was an unknown guy. It was like King, I want to say it was like King Kamala or something like that. Like I never heard of him before. But he came out and he's like, you guys are going to know who I am by the time I leave. And unfortunately, I don't remember his name. Wrong. We were like in the back going, wrong. No, but he was good, dude. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he wasn't, like, I wasn't rushing to go find his album or anything like that. But he had energy. And he was really trying to get the crowd amped up. And what he had to work with, I was a little impressed with him. I gave him
Kamal first comes out, and then it's
tell you one song he played or anything like that. Then
and when they announce, now, do they do the whole in between?
Do you want me to do the set
there's
list?
like a DJ playing songs that takes like 20 minutes for the next person to come.
Smart ass. Hold on a second.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet you he was like, ladies and gentlemen, you may not know who I am, but after my DJ set, I can promise you, you will go home knowing exactly my name. And Dan's like,
yes,
I don't know
that's
who
what
you
they
are.
were doing. That guy's name was, no, but he wasn't bad. But what was his name? God, I really wasn't planning on talking about these guys. It was like,
That's a strong name.
wrong.
I like Jay Velasquez. I do like that, Jay Velasquez.
I think it was like, he had a weak ass name like Jay Velasquez or something like that.
So it wasn't like Jazzy Jeff up there or nothing like that.
That's a strong name if you're saying, hi, I'm Jay Velasquez. But that's not a strong name if you're a DJ.
Okay.
Come correct, man. Be original.
Okay.
You know what? Honestly, that's not my genre, so probably it's just fine. But like, I don't mean genre, but like DJ names. I'm not good at picking. Yes, exactly. It wasn't like a real flashy name. Like I think his name was literally Jay Velasquez or Hernandez.
Oh, I can't stand that.
Very plain name.
But anyway, they got to keep them. They got to keep them engaged though, because it's gonna be a long show.
One thing that I noticed, and this is gonna go all the way through De La Soul. There was a lot of showboating, a lot of time stalling, a lot of say ho, and that fucking went on for way too long.
Wow.
Yeah, but this, like, the amount of say ho's that De La Soul did in that kind of stuff, when I say this, you say that, probably, like, no exaggeration. Like, Chris and I were talking about that. Like, they could have done, like, 3 more songs. It was that much.
Oh, anyway, I don't like that.
Right, so Pharcyde comes out. They played Your Mama. I know that one. That was on the first album. Played a song called Illusions. They had some song that I'd never heard of before. I'm assuming it's new. It sounded like when an old band does something new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was okay. Like, honestly, there still wasn't a lot of people left, and we were enjoying the sights and sounds. And
someone put Running Up on Twitter, so I could watch that.
We
I
were
watched
really
that
not
whole
paying
song.
that much attention, but it was cool. You hear Spandau Ballet's True, and I'm like, what are you guys going to do? And then they just butchered the shit out of that. But afterwards, they did Soulflower, they did one more unknown song, and then they closed strong with Runnin' and Passing Me By. Yeah, I think that was Shawn that did that, if it was the same one. Maybe you saw something else, but Shawn did that too. And it sounded good, but I didn't really, it was just weird. It was like, it didn't quite hit me until Passing Me By came
one
on.
of the times
and then
where
I was just like,
I got,
rapping the song with
Melissa
them
was
and
next
everything.
to me when I
And
got
they just went
that.
away. So I'm like, all right,
And
cool.
all
Thanks,
she was
Pharcyde.
kind of just like, I told you.
Jay Velasquez.
I told
again.
you to get our tickets.
No, I did
so we
send
could
you
go
a
to that.
picture. And I
Yeah,
did
she
put
was like,
something
I
on
said,
the
why
Facebook
aren't we
group, too, so
going?
if you guys want to hear one of their songs, I
We
don't
need to
remember
be
which one I
there.
did.
And I was like, yeah, me too. What are we doing? Gee, I would. Okay, here's what makes me so
She
mad.
did.
It was for me. My mommy was like, "But you're the biggest De La Soul fan. For that alone, you should have won.
You
Just
could
to
have
see
gone
De La
that day
Soul."
and only spent probably
I was
like
you're
35
freaking
bucks.
right. I had their posters and everything. I want all their songs, dude. Yeah, I want all of them.
I'll tell you this, man, before I really start talking about them. I mean, I'm just going to give
you know
the
what's
set
funny?
list, and
Everybody,
it's gonna
this
be
is
brief,
Dan.
but,
Dan made a growl. I was like,
wait
Dan,
to see them until
because
you
we were
can see
talking about.
them.
Remember a few, like 2 weeks
Like, I don't
ago,
know
we
if it
were
was
talking
really
about
worth
who could
it.
fill what venue? And I said,
yeah.
do you think De La
Right.
would do well just doing 3 Feet
They
High
did 8 songs.
tour? And Dan was like, oh yeah, like they would probably sell out a lot of play. I think. Do you think they could do Shoreline doing 3 Feet High and Rising? Ah,
Right.
Dang. Okay, so
By
they weren't.
themselves, no.
Okay, so go for it. Give me their set list.
No. You could tell by the amount of people that were there for them. There was a lot of people, but in, the grand scheme of things, there wasn't that many people for them. Like I said, people didn't really start showing up until Eric B and Rakim.
Oh, the
All
grind
right, so Daylight
days.
comes on,
That's
and they
my
did something that I'd never heard of before. I don't even know if I would consider it a song. It was just a lot of like,
Oh, come
they were trying to
on,
get the crowd
Dan.
amped up. You know what I mean? That goes on for a couple
Oh,
minutes.
come on.
Then
Dan.
they opened up with like when they started playing their song.
Much more
The grind
insights we got in store. Just but that's my
They did.
cut, baby.
They did Ooh.
I'm mad, Dan.
They did Potholes
Steak-
in My Lawn.
oh,
We knew that
oh,
one was
come
coming. And I
on,
think that's what I
dude.
sent to you. I'm pretty sure I sent Potholes in My Lawn. They did Much More.
Oodles and oodles and oodles of O's. Oodles and
Right.
Dan, I'm getting mad.
Yep, that's the one. And then they did Stakes Is High.
Dan, they did Stakes is High?
Oodle,
When that sample started, did people go crazy?
Oodles of O's. And then the last song they did was Me, Myself, and I.
Damn it.
So it was a solid set. Yeah, man.
you were not feeling it.
Yeah. That's when people started kind of okay. You started feeling the energy a little bit more.
Yes.
And what I'm saying is the energy was fine the entire time, Steve, but it was a weird energy, man. Like we live in a time. No. Like on the lawn, it was really positive energy, right? Everyone was in a great mood.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say one thing, Wu-Tang fans are as loyal as Maiden fans when it comes to wearing their gear. Like I felt out of place. I didn't have a Wu-Tang shirt on. Everyone had Wu shit on, dude. It was
really?
cool. Like Iron Maiden does that too. When you walk into an Iron Maiden concert, you definitely know you're there because that's all you see is Iron Maiden shirt. Same thing with Wu-Tang Clan. And I was going to buy a shirt too, man, and they were just kind of whack. They're like $35 and there was nothing special. Like any of those shirts, you could get a Hot Topic. So I was like, it's not worth it. Yeah, I like tour shirts. I'm that clown that wants to buy the tour
smart.
shirt that says Shoreline Amphitheater, this date on the back or something. That's just what I do. There wasn't any of that there, so I didn't buy anything. Eric B and Rakim had a dope shirt, and I was gonna get it, but it was white shirt, and I always drop some shit on my white shirt, so I didn't do it.
Like white folks with dreads?
Yeah, I'm a messy guy. So, but it was weird, man. Getting back to like what I'm calling the energy of the crowd, it was very.
Oh
I want to say
no,
almost
G.
bohemian. Like people.
No, I can't do that.
There was a lot of people that. Yeah. there was
Of
definitely
course,
some of that.
I'm just when I go
But
see
there
them,
was a
it's
lot
like
of people that were like filming themselves artistically, like dancing against the sun, and it was like a fucking Instagram
That's true.
festival.
You're right.
I don't know, but they seemed like they were having so much fun. So for me to, but for me to say that, like I actually said it in my head. And I was like, look at you old curmudgeon. Like let them, like they're having a fantastic time. You can see them doing.
Okay.
It. But it was like picture like some Apple commercial, like the new iPhone camera, and you see like kind of hippie looking, not really hippie, but just long flowy summer dresses and shit, and they're all
That's
like
a plus.
dancing
That's
slow
a plus.
motion in front of the camera, and the sun. It was that kind of shit. That's the best way I can explain it. But they were all having a good time. But it was very much a hey, look at me kind of crowd. But there was nothing wrong with that. Like everyone was cool. There was no douchebags. There was no one that was trying to.
Because I was driving,
with
you know.
Anybody.
I'm responsible.
Sure,
Is
there
what
were
I'm
lots
saying.
of drunks walking around, but there weren't like, which was weird.
I
It
didn't
wasn't
know.
me
Did
for
you
once.
drive your car?
I had one beer the entire time that I was there.
Oh, the
I was
SUV.
driving, you know. But it was.
Look at you.
I know, right? What do you want? A fucking
Look
medal,
at
Dan?
this
You had
guy.
one beer.
It
Because
is a
I
very-
gotta,
I'm
I
sure you
got
have both
people in the
hands
car. I got to get home.
at the top of the wheel, like Dan
Yes.
does. Okay.
Yes, yeah. Drove the Toyota there. Very practical car, good on mileage.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Uh-huh.
I don't do that often, dude.
Dude,
You've driven with me literally one
I was
time.
like, well, if
And
they
I
left
was
now,
driving,
they'll get there by
we're gonna
tomorrow.
go back to it
with
for just a quick second. I was driving a car that was not rented to me. My name's not on
You
that
weren't- you weren't,
whatsoever.
I was
Whatever,
looking
Steve.
at it.
Get out of here. You go straight
And I was
to
like,
hell.
why is he driving so slow?
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
I was doing
Now,
over 80 the entire time. What are you talking
real,
about?
did you need the directions
Yes,
to the
I
shoreline,
was.
or have you been there so many times you were like,
Oh, you're talking about...
that's crazy.
Dude, I had your... I'm not even going to go into this anymore. We already fucking rehashed Halloween last week, so I think we've already covered this.
That
That's what I'm
weird
saying.
split.
No, I've been there so many times, but I go, no, it's right off the 101. But I go San Francisco. This is like boring stuff, but I usually take 99 all the way as far as I can go. So like there's this 152 you have to go through, like You got to go through Paso Robles and Pacheco Pass.
How
and
long
Gilroy
did
and all
it
that
take?
stuff.
Was it a detour
And for some reason,
real?
I'm just blah, 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 talking away. And he's like, aren't we supposed to go that way? I'm like, oh, shit. So, yeah.
I thought you just kept going.
I probably still could have done it, but, you know,
Oh,
I never
you're fine.
traveled with him. I didn't want him to be like, oh, man, this dude's going to make me late.
I was saying, we were talking about De La Soul's set list, and I said, hey,
it wasn't a
do you think
detour.
De La
It was
Soul
just I
can
had to
do
do a
a 3
U-turn
feet
and
high
get
and
back on the
rising, and it went
freeway
from
and then
Shoreline to...
No, I just
yeah.
went to the next exit. And turned back around.
I thought you were ringing it
Yeah,
back
it's-
around.
What were you asking me?
Okay, so Jay Velasquez after De La Soul, and
Yeah,
this is Jack. I feel
back
bad
to
for him.
it.
And so after he does his next DJ set, which is like what,
Don't turn
10
me in a
minutes
direction,
between?
and I'll just like keep walking. Where the fuck am I? I'm lost now.
Oh my God.
I think it was Jay Velasquez, some shit like that. It might as well have been. Yeah, something like that. Nothing too crazy. And then Eric B and Rakim came out.
Oh, come on, Jay.
It turns
Come
out
on.
I don't know as many songs as I thought I did. Don't get me wrong. I knew the songs, but I didn't know the lyrics to them. And I was
Don't
like,
sweat the technique.
Oh, yeah, every time they kept playing them. So I got to do some studying on Eric B and Rakim, man. But they opened up with Move the Crowd.
Which
and
is
then,
crazy
My
that
Melody.
he did that at 50 and some change.
Then I Ain't No Joke, followed by Steve. Don't Sweat the Technique.
Well, no, I think that's what I'm saying. I think he was saying
Yeah,
if
I'm
y'all
leaving this
knew
for
the
you.
songs,
And then,
which
Guess Who's
Dan
Back?
did not. Did anyone
they did
in your
Microphone
crew know the
Fiend.
songs?
You know, he was doing a lot of like.
You
back
were
and
pumped
forth
to
with the
see him
crowd,
live, though.
I think he was catching his wind.
Okay, good. Yes.
No, not really.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I knew the songs, but I didn't know them as well as I thought I did.
All right, so after
Yeah,
Eric...
he was great.
Go ahead.
I wish I would have been down there for him because all the energy. It was weird.
Of
Like,
course.
you know, the opening acts is sometimes it's hard to capture the lawn's attention.
I got enough
but
to go
downstairs,
around.
man,
Know
they
the
were hitting
ledge.
it. So I wished I was down there for that. So anyway, after after Microphone Fiend, it was Eric B as president.
Of course. We need to close
And
it.
then
That's
I
a
Know You
strong
Got Soul,
set, dude. And
followed
so
by Juice,
now
Know
everybody's
the
like,
Ledge.
the next... by this time, it's dark.
And then Follow the Leader, which was all a cappella. And then he closed with Paid in Full. Very strong.
And you guys are ready for...
It's getting there. Yeah, like
Wu-Tang.
at the Shoreline, that last act before the main act gets the screens. So the sun was starting to go down and you were starting to see
Tell
him.
me
And then
how
by the time
they
he was off, you
introduced
could
the
see the full
Wu-Tang
screen.
Clan.
which is perfect. It's time to get down. Yeah, and now just everywhere, all you hear is Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang, everywhere. It was really cool.
Who got the biggest
They did
applause?
some like Wu-Tang kind
in
of
the
like old
introduction?
school, that kind of shit. And then RZA comes out.
Of
He's
course.
just getting the crowd hyped, and he starts calling them off one by one. And then they open up with "Bring the Ruckus." And
I would think
the fucking
Ghostface
place
got
just
super love.
exploded, dude. I mean, I guess I would have to say Meth got the most, of course. But after that, but it was all pretty even. You know what I mean? Once "Bring the Ruckus" came on, dude, it just erupted.
It was like, yeah.
They all got super love. That's the thing. Seriously, the crowd never really let up from that point on. But what I was going to say is, here's the thing with the Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh,
like whoever
dude, that's
did their
impossible.
Sound, overbassed
Yeah.
them. So
They
by
didn't do the
time that
soundtrack
bass-
correctly.
yeah,
And also, a
that's
lot of
the
times they do
whole-
the soundtrack
Yes,
and
dude, and it was
soundtrack, and
drowning
they
out
don't take into
vocals.
consideration the
It
bodies
was hard to kind of
that are now
focus
going to
on
be
the song. Like, you knew
muffling a lot of the
song,
stuff.
but it was a little
and
bit hard to focus.
You
on the
need
song.
someone
It was just like,
really good at that.
You're hearing that, yeah, dude. So it was a. Right. It's just kind of weird though, because the entire set sounded fine.
yes.
All the other
yes.
bands sounded fine, or groups rather sounded fine. It was just that when they came on, it was so like there was just one point. I think it was it De La Soul, or maybe it was Eric B and Rakim, but they just did this like boom, like this bass, the kind of bass you feel in your gut, you know. but that was on the lawn, and I'm like, oh shit, like that's really loud. I hope that they get that right. And sure enough, it was just a little bit too loud for Wu-Tang Clan. It's not really. I guess I can't say that it didn't take away from the show, but if they would have had that just a little more mixed, or maybe it just sounded really good down below, it was just a little bit hard to focus on the songs, just a tiny little bit.
One thing I do know is that Shawn, I remember when we were watching a movie, it had a hip hop song in it and he knew it. It did be like, oh, he knows that old school hip hop, that 90s hip hop. So I know that he probably knew all the words to all the Wu-Tang songs.
I think so. He was like, he was tripping out on the crowd. Like, I don't think I'm really giving out too much information, but if you listen to the recording that we did in the parking lot, he does not like big crowds. So he was kind of like, he was finding his bearings. Let's just say that the entire time. He finally kind of locked in. But for a while, I think he was getting a little bit of the anxiety. He just doesn't like big crowds.
Yeah,
and he's never really been to a show that big before, from what I understand.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's been to littler, like smaller shows, but I don't think he's ever seen anything like that before.
Well, the thing is, for me, like I remember when we went to Staples to see Prince, that was the biggest crowd I had been in. And I was like, this is a lot of people. Like when they show the lights coming on, you're like, oh my. And then after that, I was like, well, that's huge. But then when I saw Paul McCartney at Dodger Stadium, I was like, oh, this is a big freaking crowd. And so I think some people don't really like that groove at all. You seem to like, you went to go see Billy Joel and all this. So you're like, oh yeah, it's fine for you. I could see how some people be like, yeah, I don't like this.
Yeah, I could see it being a lot. I do have a little bit of audio if you want to hear it.
Yes.
I have some Eric.
Yes.
Here's a little bit of Eric B and Rakim. Here we go. It's not a lot, just a little bit.
Yeah. Shit the truth. I got enough to go around.
Thought take place uptown.
I grew up on the sidewalk while on street talk. They talk the whole for York. Go to Queens for Queens, get the crew from Brooklyn. They money in Manhattan, never been tricking. Go uptown with the Bronx, the boogie down, the storm on the island, the crew stay around. Time to build my juice back up. Drop stack up, jump this smack up. Don't doubt the clout, they know what I'm about. Shaking them up,
Breaking them up. Taking them up. Breaking them up.
Not bad.
Come on.
I got a little bit of Wu, not a lot. Because I just stopped filming and I was just watching the show for them. I was just like sort of in awe of being there watching them. I don't know. I let myself slip. But Shawn did. And I also saw Shawn filming everything. And I think that's where I was like, I'll just get it from him. So obviously ODB couldn't be there, right? So
Yeah.
they're bringing his son out, and his son is doing all the ODB parts, and it's like, I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, it's really not that, this is going to piss people off. Yeah, I guess it's really not that hard to do because all you got to do is yell and know the lyrics.
I'm not a big ODB person.
I mean, I think he was honestly one of the most charismatic of the crew, but he certainly wasn't the most talented.
No, he was just, I mean, and I get everyone needs that person in their group. Like,
Right.
remember, I think like Busta Rhymes was that for Leaders of the New School. Like Busta was that. And we all knew that's going to be a special person. I think we all knew back then Busta was going to be a special person. I think that's what ODB was. Do you think Busta's too big to be on an opening set? Because Busta has hit after hit after hit after hit.
Nowadays, I think he is sort of like set for the opening set.
Really?
I
Even
think
with
so.
I don't think anybody on that stage has hits as big as him. No one has a Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See on that stage.
Do you think that back in the day he was roided up?
Busta?
Yeah.
As in 2001 when he got ripped?
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah, he definitely did something, because when I saw him, I'd be like, whoa, and now it's all kind of just
Exactly. Now you see him and he's got that weird look about him that looks like people that don't do steroids anymore.
Exactly. He used to be like, he was during the Genesis, he was ripped. He got big. But yeah, everyone would see him and be like, just like Timbaland now. And then like Dr. Dre now.
Yeah.
People are
I
like,
saw a picture
man.
of Timbaland the other day. I'm like, oh shit. That guy got huge.
Dre is humongous.
Yeah, he's
Dr. Dre is humongous, dude.
You don't
And
think
so
that he's doing that?
Of course he is.
You think
Yeah,
so?
Of course he is. Because remember, he's 50 and some change.
Yeah.
Your testosterone goes low, so he could just say it's testosterone like therapy. But yeah, they're pumping him because you at that age, your body doesn't do that anymore.
Yikes, man.
But I mean, I can't hate on that. Like if I was old enough and I wasn't like working, I'd do it too.
It's gonna shrink your nuts up, dude. You got to be careful.
Hey, bro, at that point, man, I'm a billionaire. I could just buy new nuts.
You're gonna get some nudicles. Look at these nuts. The biggest nuts you ever seen. Oh, and by the way, we talked about this. I was disappointed, dude. We did leave early, like a couple of songs, which was smart.
What?
But just a couple. Just, dude, you got to understand the way that the parking lot works there. Like if you
you
don't
would have
get
been
out,
stuck.
you make sacrifices. Yeah. If you want to sit in the parking lot for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, sometimes you just like leave at the last song.
Yeah,
you want to get out. You got to get the jump. I've done that for years, But they did not play Bring the Pain. I was a little disappointed because they've been playing it on all the other ones. Perhaps I shouldn't have said anything. Got cocky.
Oh, I wouldn't. You know what? When you said that they would play that, I'm like, I would think that they would only do Wu songs.
No. Let me say it again. They've been playing it on the tour. They just didn't play it for whatever reason. And I think it might have had to do with I think that Shoreline has a certain shutdown time. So it could have been like the time that they were allotted. So the previous night or a couple nights before that, they did 22 songs. They only did 19 this time.
Do they do any Ghost solos?
On the other set, hold on, I'll check real quick.
Because I would have been like, why does he get a solo thing and we don't?
They did Ice Cream by Raekwon, which they did.
There it is. Okay.
And then they also did Fourth Chamber by GZA.
That makes nothing by Ghost.
Talk about GZA for a second.
Oh, the genius.
I don't know if you remember me talking about this. Did you ever watch the documentary of Mikes and Men?
I watched part of it. I wasn't able to go back to, but I was in. Like for the little I saw, I was like, oh, Dan's right. Like I would just get sucked into this freaking documentary, dude.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw any of Genius or GZA on there, but he looks.
I've seen his documentary. I've seen the documentary on him. Oh yeah, dude.
He just, and it's the way it is. I mean, they're all aging, but he just looks the oldest out of them. And there was one part, God, I wish I would have had that on video because we all just stopped and looked at each other like, what just happened right now? It was like one of those things where the music's bumping and then like GZA's going to close the song out a cappella for one part. Uh-huh. And I don't even remember what song it was now, man, but he went, it was just like,
what?
He completely forgot the lyrics and he just made this like thing. And he just was like, and it was like a close up of his face. Imagine if he would have actually hit the mark. You know what I mean? They would have stuck the landing. It would have looked cool because it was just his face hitting the last lyric. But he completely botched it, man. And everyone was just kind of looking around like, what happened
right now? Was that supposed to happen right now?
It was not supposed to happen right there. It was funny though, man. Like it was like, did he just stroke out? Like what exactly happened to GZA right there? So it just kind of goes to show that, I don't know. I don't want to say he doesn't have it anymore because he did a good job. But it was just that one point where I think he was just like, oops.
Remembering a whole album is hard, dude.
For sure. I've seen so many bands forget the lyrics. It's not a big deal. It just looked really funny because like that was his moment. I
did not know that I was only 15 when this album came out. Jeez Louise, dude.
On that, they've been around for a long time. So this is what Meth ended up saying.
This is the part of the show where we jump. Now, I know some of you have been with us since day one. That means y'all the same age as us. And your knees ain't the same. You can't jump like you used to and shit. How many people out here was born in the 70s? Good, let's go. You're gonna need a nap in a few minutes, past your bedtime. How many people out here was born in the 80s? That's a whole lot of crack babies. How many people out here were born in the 90s? I feel sorry for your music. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, on this record, when we jump, you jump. When we jump, you jump. All right, man, let's go.
Anyway.
One thing I will say about Wu-Tang, they created a thing. We weren't talking really about branding except for Public Enemy, maybe. They had that, they had the Target.
Right, that militant thing.
Yeah, but we weren't talking, like, you don't have to put Wu-Tang on something if you have the sign. You don't even have to put their name. And it's for people who don't even like Wu-Tang, they'll know what that is. That is a pretty genius thing.
You know what's really cool? Speaking of the logo, we had talked about this when I reviewed it, how the guy that did their logo got paid maybe $200 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And he was just like, oh, if I'd have known, right? If I'd have known. I don't know if they finally, he's been around the whole time, but I thought it was really cool that they are paying him back. Like he was their DJ.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he was their DJ. That's really dope.
So
that's really
like,
dope.
We can't get you back on that $200 deal, but we can definitely get you some tour money or something like that. I'm sure he appreciated it. You know what I mean?
And the weird thing is RZA took the long road in this nerdy thing where he kind of was a nerd back in the day and it's paying off now with like film roles and all this. Like he kept that energy. He didn't change for anybody.
Yeah, he's knocking them out of the park, man, particularly on that last joint that he did.
Oh boy.
Not to bring up old shit, but
oh my!
Did any of you not take our advice and stay away?
Some people went and saw that, G, and I've seen the repercussions.
We tried to tell you about The Dead Don't Die, ladies and gentlemen. You should really listen. It is a huge chunk of shit.
The dead may not die, but the film certainly should have.
Oh, that film should have died for sure. And the more I think about it, dude, the more podcasts I hear of people talking about it, it just makes me more and more angry. How bad.
Have the podcast you've heard talk about it said they loved it?
No one said that.
Good, dude. Because there was somebody on one of these podcasts that just adored it.
Oh, Brian ripped it apart. With good reason.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah. With good reason. It sucked, man. He said it was the worst. I feel bad for him. He said
I thought he was going to like it.
No, he went to a double feature that day, dude.
Oof.
He saw that one, and then he saw Anna. And he saw Anna first. Anna's like...
Anna's probably really good.
No, he said it was the worst movie he's seen all year.
That freaking preview looks amazing, G.
You know what? It's not fooling me, dude. You just... This is terrible to say, but I'm going to say it.
Uh-oh. People, brace yourself.
No, you can just look at that woman and go, oh, you can't act. You're a mom.
I thought it was good. I thought it was going to be good, dog.
Nah. I thought the one scene was cool in the trailer where she has the plates in the restaurant and she cracks the plates and she's like slitting throat. And I'm like, there's no way this can be good. No way. Well, if Lucy wasn't good with Scarlett Johansson, there's no way this movie's going to be good.
Well, how was that one with Homegirl? Charlize Theron. Daggone it. What was the name of it?
Oh, man. To answer your question, no, but I know exactly the movie. Oh, wow. Oh, God. What is the name of the movie?
You almost had it there.
Atomic Blonde.
Yes. No one talked about it. I'll tell you that much. From what it was supposed to be, no one. And here's my thing. I would have gone and seen Anna. Because I'm a person, I don't mind double feature. Because remember, I didn't know you yet. I went and paid for the whole, what was Quentin and Robert Rodriguez's movie, that horror film that went like 5 hours?
Grindhouse and...
Grindhouse, yes.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I loved that movie. And so... I don't mind double features, but if I would have seen Anna and it sucked, I would have been like, well, good thing I'm going to see this.
That's what he said. So he left Anna and then he goes into The Dead Don't Die thinking he's going to get a refresher.
Yes!
No.
How so mad was he, dude?
Dude, I'm serious. He ripped both of those movies apart. And I think with good reason. Even though I haven't seen Anna, I can just tell that movie is going to blow.
I'm glad nobody saw it.
I was going to let you go see it and just be like, oh, yeah, I missed that one. But no.
I might have liked it, G. I'm crazy like that, G.
Well, go check it out.
No,
I might see it when it comes out on cable or something, but nah.
For free.
For free, exactly.
Now, did for the night, getting back to Wu-Tang, you didn't get to see what they closed out with. So you're walking. Are people filing out when you're walking?
Actually, no. I thought we left a couple songs. I think we went right on time. So... Because we left when they were doing Gotcha Money. And we heard that.
Okay. Did they do Shame on a Nigga or no?
They did. That was, like I said, they played that whole album in its entirety. So they did that. Clan in the Front, Wu-Tang 7th Chamber. They did Run, which is a Capadonna song. They slipped that one in there. And Capadonna, who I normally don't really like that much, he was on fire that night, dude. He was killing it.
I would have been worried to do that song with that crowd.
Why? Because so many people just shy away from the word. Do you know how many people that I see on a day-to-day basis on either Instagram or Twitter or something that are not black throwing that word around?
But here's the thing. I know that it gets really... Like, here's the thing. I know that they will say it, but I'm wondering if there was like because you have to kind of look around and gauge your surroundings first. Because I think maybe in that arena, it was perfectly fine. But I have seen places where they're just like, oh no, I'm not going to say that in this place.
No.
But the way you say shoreline is
that at all.
Okay,
I don't think they would have taken that into consideration at all because it's one of the most popular songs on the album. First of all, you're not going to go and play the 25th anniversary of an album and not play that because of.
Oh no! I mean, Jay-Z still does. He lets the crowd say certain things, and I'm just like, you're going to end up getting someone hurt, bruh. You are going to get someone hurt doing this silliness. But there's a lot of people that are just really smart. Like certain people are just like, I just don't do it. But I like when you're rattling off those songs, I was like, did they do Shame? Shame on it? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, did they do? And I'm like, oh no. I only know maybe 2 songs from 36. I'm going to listen to the album because that's one of the albums I need to be versed in. Just for hip hop's sake. I need to be versed in 36 Chambers. I don't know it at all, dude.
I think you know more than you think you do.
Maybe I don't know the names of it because
Can it be also simple?
No, I don't know the song.
Pretty sure you've heard this. You don't recognize that bass line?
Nope.
This was dope. This is 20,000 people saying this. All right, let's see.
I tell you what, man, they sure created something, dude. They sure created something, man. They really created something special.
Oh, for sure. I didn't even get to the part where they're actually singing it, but Clan in the Front. You never heard that song before?
Nope.
You never heard The Mystery of Chess Boxing?
No.
You've heard this one before. Guaranteed.
Tiger style.
Tiger style. Yo. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
Oh, yeah, I know that song.
Yeah.
I know that
This
song.
was this shit right here.
There's no place to hide once I step inside the room. Dr. Doom, prepare for the boom. Bam! Oh, man! Slam! Damn!
They just bring it right here.
I be tossing and forcing. My style is awesome. I'm causing more family food than Richard Dawson.
You've heard that one before, right? And I know you've heard this.
Word up. Super fives over here, baby. Word up. Super fives. Some niggas got garbage down the way. Word up.
Cash moves everything around.
Round me, cream, get the
See,
money.
you know that
dollar
one.
bill, yo. Well, yeah. Oh, everyone kind of knows that one.
Well, you couldn't. If you were watching MTV and Yo MTV Raps, you saw this song.
And also, if you listen to any like local college radio station, you knew this song.
How about this one?
Gee, that is like a legendary beat, bruh.
And it's in Chef. Did you know that? Like the sample that they took is from a song in Chef. I mean, it's not like they took it from Chef, but that song is featured in the movie.
That is so funny, dude.
Protect your neck.
I smoke all the like smoking Joe Frazier, the Hellraiser, raising hell with the flavor, terrorize the jam like troops in Pakistan, swinging through your town like your neighborhood Spider-Man. So tick tock keep ticking, when I get you flipping.
Nothing?
I'm kicking the Lone
No.
Ranger, co-ed.
Damn, dude, you need to go do some homework. I'm not saying you're not versed because I know you're very versed, but this is a great album, man.
Look, here's the thing: they created something special. Like they did. They did. Now, mind you, I'm not going to say that they're the first ones to do that. Obviously, no. But they stood out in a time like we're talking about 92, 91, right? 94, 3, 93.
93 was when it came out.
The West Coast was destroying everyone. Like no one had a shot, and Wu-Tang shined through.
They were competing with Dre and Snoop.
Dre, Snoop. We were conquering the Warren G. The West Coast sound was the sound, and somehow Wu-Tang shined through all that. That just means they were so special. And it makes me want to, it really does make me want to go like binge the documentary. And it makes me upset that I didn't go, if only to pay like homage to who is truly one of the godfathers of this thing as far as a group, to be able to say, I saw them.
Yeah.
Because one day I'll look back and be like, yeah, regardless of if I like Wu-Tang or not, they are, in my opinion, if I had a Mount Rushmore of hip hop where there's like quite a few people, that Wu-Tang sign is there. They're one of the Mount Rushmores of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? They were one of those to be like, we don't have to do a catchy chorus. We're just gonna have you rapping next, then rapping next, then rapping next, then rapping next, and just killing it. And it worked. Most people have to rely on a chorus that's ridiculously dope. They didn't. They just didn't. Some of them were dope. Most of it was just like them killing it for 5 minutes. Gee, that's special, bro.
That's the thing, man. That's why I really wanted to go to this one, is because it's the 25th anniversary. Anytime that a group or a band or whatever does an album in its entirety, that's something special, you know? And I'll talk about that in a bit, but like, for instance, Coheed and Cambria, they do these things that are called, they're called Never Enders. And they do this. I'm hoping they do it again soon. I think the last time they did it was like 2010, maybe a little bit before that. But they did this. They ran out of place for 4 nights. For instance, they had 4 albums at the time, right? And they just played each album a night. Is that awesome? They did the whole thing.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I think that was not great English that I used right there. I'm sorry. I was trying to find something, but you get my point. Like they do that, and now they have 9 albums, and they need to do another one of these. I would definitely spend the money for that.
Well, before we get off that, since we're on Coheed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
You were looking forward to seeing it. You didn't end up going. You didn't end up going, which is fine.
Yeah.
Have you heard any reviews of the show?
No. I mean, Coheed fans, if I was just to go to some Coheed site, they're going to be like, it was great, because I know it was. But the reason that I wanted to go to this one was because the opening band Mastodon was doing one of their albums in its entirety. And it's called Crack the Sky. And it's my favorite album of theirs. And I was just so ready to do this, man. But, you know, long story short, multiple circumstances came up that we just had to sort of weigh our options. And we realized that it was not going to be in our best interest to leave town. It was like certain things came up where it's like, okay, well, we can handle this today and then be done with it. Or we can put it off for another day. And then when we get back, it could be worse. So
yeah, I feel you, dude.
We just had to, you know,
yeah,
grown up decisions, dude. But I was heartbroken about that one all day long.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, you know, McCartney's back. Yeah, in Northern California in July.
Oh, you buying me a ticket to that? Yeah, that makes me feel a lot better, dude. Thank you.
How much do you think the tickets are going to be? I haven't looked.
You're going to pay no less than $100.
Oh, that's not bad. I had to pay like $300 for Dodger.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yes, you
I mean,
would.
I'm not
Dan,
knocking
don't you dare.
But here's the deal,
Don't
dude.
you
No. Hear me out. I wasn't going to just like end it with that. You don't go to a lot of concerts. I don't go to as many as I used to, but you don't go to a lot of concerts, period. So I think that being that you don't do that and you're saving up for something special, then that makes sense. You're also paying, you're in for like $1,000, dude. You're going to be spending like $1,000 to go see McCartney.
I do want to because I mean, that was the first time that I saw Maj like really get into something.
Yeah.
Like when he walked on stage, Maj's eyes were like, oh my God, like he's right there. I'm like, yeah, that's what concerts do.
Yeah. You better be right there. You just spent $1,000 on tickets.
Exactly. But I do, again, I'm thinking about still saving because I still haven't done Billy Joel. So
I dropped $5 to get the family there.
That's not bad, dude.
It was totally, well.
And you missed part of it, yeah.
Yeah, it should have been worth it. But yeah, it was totally worth the money to see Billy Joel and spend $5.
I still can't believe he
nosebleeds.
didn't do that one song, dude.
Yeah, I know. Old shit. We had nosebleed seats, dude, but like the screens were great. Like an outdoor venue is really nice as long as they provide the screens. Because I don't want to watch an ant play music, you know?
That's true. And that's my thing. Remember back in the day, see, people nowadays aren't going to understand. Remember those Michael Jackson crowds?
Yeah,
I'm like, what are you guys looking at? Like, what are you seeing?
Or like the old Wembley.
Yeah.
You're not seeing shit. If you were at Live Aid, you weren't seeing shit if you were in the back.
And it used to be, remember, Wembley used to be a thing. It's not a thing anymore, but it still is, because George Michael made a big deal filling Wembley. And I thought it was touching. Like, he's like, I did it with Wham, but he was curious as to if he'll be able to do it again, which is understandable. He's like, look, it's been a year since Wham, dude. And this is 2004 or 5 when he's coming back out. And it was adorable seeing him fill Wembley again. But Wembley used to be a thing. People used to want to fill Wembley.
I'm sure they still do.
Of course, dude. And technically, when you see Wembley now, it's not the same. as it used to be, because when people are like, we sold out Wembley, you see the concert and there's still empty seats. I'm like, how did you didn't sell out Wembley. That's not true. Like, it used to be crazy at Wembley Stadium. Then they redid it and everything.
Yeah. Matter of fact, there's some news about that right now because of all people, the Spice Girls were just there. Nana Pratt was at the Spice Girls concert. I saw him on Facebook. He was there. I'm like, oh, and I'm going to just tell you right now, dude, I was a little bit jealous. I'm going to be really honest with you. If the Spice Girls came, I think I would have to go. No, you can say what you want. I think I would go. And it isn't even about me grooving in the car to their music or anything like that. I just feel like they made a big enough splash in pop culture that I feel like I need to see them.
Dan.
No, won't change my mind, dude.
What? Okay. You know what? This is great right now. Look, I will not even say another word. If you can name me 6 Spice Girl songs.
6 Spice Girl songs. I don't know if I could, to be honest with you.
So why would you see them in concert?
Because it's a thing. Do you know what I mean? It's no. Here's another example. I saw Garth Brooks a few years back, and I'm not a Garth Brooks fan. I appreciate his talent. I appreciate the man that he is, and I appreciate that people want to go see him because they say that it's something of a spectacle to see, like it's an experience. And you know what? They're 100% right. I would pay to see Garth Brooks again.
Totally understand that. I totally get that.
I haven't listened to one Garth Brooks album ever, and I haven't even searched out a song since I saw him. But I would totally spend the money. I think I spent $80 a ticket to see him, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. It's an experience. Now,
yes,
that said, I get that. Spice Girls are not Garth Brooks, so I'll give you that. But I'm going to go ahead and try. All right, let's see. So, Wannabe, of course. There's one called Two Become One.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Spice World. Spice World.
No, that's not a song.
I believe that was
That's a movie.
Song. Yeah, but I think that was the title track.
Are you sure?
No.
I'm
pretty sure, bro. Yeah, you look it up. That way I don't have to look it up.
Okay, let's see. Spice World. No, it's not on that album. No. Wait, what did you say? You said Two Become One?
Oh, you know what? I think it's called Spice Up Your Life.
Okay,
people of the world, spice up your life. That's what it's called. Yeah, but it was from the movie.
Oh, you know
Spice
what?
World.
That was actually a good song.
Yeah. What else? They did. Oh Jesus! I don't know if I can go any more.
Is that 2?
They did. No. So I have Wannabe.
Yes.
I have Two Become One. I have Spice Up Your Life.
Okay.
Oh Jesus! They did one that was very it almost sounded kind of 60s. Stop is the name of the song. Stop. What are we at? We're at, I need 2 more?
Yes.
I don't know, bro. I said 2. I'm giving, Say You'll Be There.
Uh-huh.
That's 5. And I think I might be fresh out of Spice Girl songs, bro.
You didn't even do If You Want to Be My Lover.
Yes, I did. It's called Wannabe.
Oh, is it called Wannabe?
Yeah.
I thought it was If You Want to Be My Lover. Interesting.
No, Steve, it's not. No,
what about... I want to zigga 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 zag.
Same song.
What's that one?
Same song. What about Tell Me What You Want, What You Really, Really Want? You know what? I bet you Gail would be like, I'm not spending that kind of money for this. But I'm telling you, if they came through and I could go, I would probably go. But it's more so just I wouldn't be singing. You know what I mean? I would just be there watching the show.
I get the event idea because I think I would pay I would pay $5 to see Ricky Martin do that. Ole, ole, ole. I would pay money to see that.
Steve,
live.
where are you going to spend $5 to see Ricky Martin? You in the Philippines?
I'm saying I would, for that song alone, I like that song. But other than that, I wouldn't. With Spice Girls, they should give you an option to pay for a song and then leave. So you can be like, okay, I'm going to come in for
I don't know, dude.
Wannabe.
Listen, Nana has different tastes than we do in some, aspects. I know he's more into musicals and stuff like that.
Nana.
Don't hate Nana. I'm not hating on you, bro. I am right now. Steve's that way. He's a shit talker. I'm not. I appreciate everyone's taste in music and whatnot.
I'm going to
even
fly
if it's not my thing. However, he did say that they were killing it.
Mm-hmm. Nana, we're going to have a chat. We're going to have a chat when I come out there.
Don't even trip, Nana. Don't even trip. And you know he's not coming out anywhere. He's full of hot air. Says, 4 of the 5 Spices returned to the stage, averaging more than 6 million and 50,000 tickets per show on their UK Ireland stadium trek. You can't fuck with numbers, dude.
Oh my God. Just when I think like I love the state of our music situation, something like this happens.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, good Lord, man.
Seriously, back up your statement.
Okay. When you do what is the word I'm looking for when you just put a bunch of people in a group that look good? It's a what group?
Bunch of people in a group? Are you trying to think like super group or something?
No, it's like ITY. It is an ITY, I think. If I get a bunch of cute people that don't know each other and they make like one really big album and then nothing else, I'm like, oh, that was just a blah, blah group. Shoot. Like if I get what is it called? It's something that only works for one thing. It only works one time.
What word are you thinking of? Tell me what it is, Steve. Tell me what you want.
Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really, really, really wanna zig a zig.
Oh, Dan. Oh, Dan. Jeez Louise. But anyway, it's like they threw a bunch of people together, made a fun little group, and it worked. And then it went away because the music was trash. And now it's coming back because our music is so trash that it works now again. That's what happened. Our music is so bad that it works again.
I think people just like nostalgia.
Yeah.
It brings you back to better memories. You know what I mean? Like for me, I hate to admit this, but it's like the 90s were my shit. I had the most fun, I think, in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
The music was the best music. I love 80s music, but I'm a huge fan of 90s music. And I think it's just like a nostalgia thing.
I get it.
You know, a lot of people, hey, I was 10 years old when this song came out. Loved this song. Like Spice Girls was my shit. You know, I can picture someone saying this. And then the tickets go on sale. Oh, boom, sold. That's what it is.
Okay.
You have very strong feelings about this.
I just think I don't think it's not going a good direction.
Music in general?
When that can sell a lot of tickets, I just don't think it's a great thing.
But again, it's all a matter of opinion, right?
Totally. I just think objectively, and mind you, if I didn't really care about music at all, I would probably not even care about it. I would just be like, yeah, buy tickets to go see the Spice Girls. Is it a royalty group? No, it's not a royalty group. It's a...
You've got me, man. I can't think of the word.
Where it's just like a silly thing that you did for that little space in time. Oh, that's just a whatever thing you bought from a concert.
Not
that's
like
a...
exhibition or something like that.
No, it's like something you took away from... it was a... anyway. So
no, you've got me. I can't think of it.
I know. I'll text you later on today. Be like, what's this word? But I think someone on the other side of this podcast is losing their minds right now. I'll be like, this is the word.
It's probably Shanks.
It's funny because every so often on Twitter, someone will be like, hey, this Poison did this sort of thing, and Shanks will be like, that is not how it works. I'm like, I believe Shanks.
Hell yeah, he knows what he's talking about.
Hell yeah. But for me, again, if I didn't care about music, I would just be like, yeah, totally. Because like you could tell, like I told you I was never a Wu-Tang person, but I can appreciate their importance and how good their music was good. It just wasn't my thing. I can objectively be like, Spice Girls music isn't good. It's just not good music.
I don't even think I'm arguing with you on that, bro.
That's all. And I'm like, we need to be putting money into, and that's why like I wasn't into Bruno Mars, but I was like, oh, I get it. I totally get it. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's not my thing, I get it. NSYNC wasn't my thing, but guess what? I got it. I'm like, oh, that's a talented producers making good music for this group. And they're growing every album. Okay, fine. Spice Girls were like, they literally did not do that.
Yeah, again, I'm not arguing with you, but they were definitely a big splash in pop culture at the time. Maybe not for you, sure, but for a lot of people. You know what I mean?
For sure. Even if, like Gwen Stefani, yeah. Like Gwen Stefani, I get why she's still popular.
I don't. But again, to each their own. I loved Gwen Stefani back in the day. And I don't know, it's just like she put out a Christmas album. I went, well, that's it.
Oy, oy, oy. Like she has hits with No Doubt, and then she had hits after that with Holla Back Girl and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, I get it. Pink, I get it. But it's just like, and Pink was like around a few like around the same time as Spice Girls came out. A few years after.
You want to know what I think about Pink?
What?
I've seen her before twice. She puts on one of the funnest performances I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
She's fantastic on stage. Her voice is great. Music's good. She has the stupidest lyrics maybe ever. Like her lyrics are so stupid, dude. And it's this weird thing. It's like all this good stuff's happening and you are saying the dumbest shit right now.
Well, see, remember that song she did, that Real Good, Feel Good? We got in the back, we got in the back,
yes.
Okay. So that song I loved. And I was like, why do I love this song so much? And all of a sudden I was on YouTube and they're like, here's Beck's original, his demo for it. I'm like, oh, Beck wrote it. I was like, I like Beck. And Beck's version is on YouTube. And I was like, oh, because this sounds very different from what Pink normally did. And I was like, I love this song. It makes sense. But legit, the girl can sing. If someone's like, she ain't got a good voice, I'm like, you're lying.
And her performance is on point too. She's doing all that swinging around shit. And
she's been with Homeboy. Like she stayed in a legit relationship, dog.
What's that guy's name? Not Corey Hart. Something Hart.
It is Corey
Carey
Hart.
I think.
Carey Hart. Yeah. That dude, and like they've been a legit thing. And so I'm just like, you know what? I can understand if music isn't for me. It's just, and again, people can have their fun. I'm just joking with Nana. I get it. You go, I'm sure there's some corny person I want to see in concert. I just don't know who it is. I don't know what corny person I like. I can't think of it. And I know one day I'll say, hey, I'm going to see this person in concert. And Dan will be like, yeah, that's the corny person you like. You know just nailed it.
I came across all of my old ticket stubs again the other day. And I'm looking at some of them right now. And it's like, I've seen so many shows, dude. And it's like, the prices I paid for these tickets, it's amazing.
It's like $10, $12.
We've got nothing. We have no movies for you guys this week, guys, in case you haven't figured that out yet. So we're just sort of bullshitting. Would you be curious to see or hear some of the bands that I've seen and the prices that I paid for them?
Please.
Let's take Metallica, for instance, okay? The last time I saw Metallica, I know I spent no less than $60.
Not bad.
December 14th, 1988. Metallica with Queensryche. That means that it was the Injustice for All tour. I spent $16.50.
For one ticket?
For one ticket.
Jeez Louise, dude. I was 9 years old. It's crazy.
The very first ticket that I have saved, I mean, there was more. Like I had Billy Idol, The Cars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's several. But the very first one that I have saved was December 15th, 1984. Huey Lewis in the News, baby. The sports
How was
tour.
that?
It was great, man. They opened
and how much did you pay for it? Let me guess.
I don't have, you know what? It was they ripped the ticket, so I don't know. But I'm guessing in the neighborhood of about $12.
Did you go to Selland?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They packed Selland back in the day?
Dude, the sports album was huge.
I didn't know they were that big.
Oh, yeah. Think about all the hits on that one.
Name some.
Heart of Rock and Roll. If This Is It.
One.
I Want a New Drug.
Yep, I know that. Gee, that's hits right there if you stop.
That's it.
That's more hits than most people have on their album. Yeah. And people don't know, for me, I was in LA at the time. I couldn't avoid these songs. And I could not avoid those songs. So the fact that those were all on one album, dude. And he brought back like a 50s thing.
He did. Yeah, it was like a lot of doo-wop stuff. They would do that on stage. They would do It's All Right. I think it's called
I don't remember It's All Right.
It was one of those songs where you're like standing over a garbage can. Everyone's harmonizing. You know?
Oh, kind of like Uptown Girl.
Yeah. Something like that.
But a song that gets way more play than it should. But anyway, go on.
Heart and Soul was another one that was on that album.
Oh, I like that song.
Heart and Soul.
Yeah, I like that song.
Tons of them. So that was a big tour. And that was fun. And then I saw, let's see who else. Motley Crue back in 85. And that's the thing that's pissing me off is that some of these, but I'm looking at it's the same venue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all around the same time. So each ticket was no more than $16. A matter of fact, here we go right here. June 6th, 1986, I saw Eddie Murphy, The Pieces of My Mind tour, which turned out to be Raw, $16.50.
You saw? Did he sell out Selland?
I believe so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was sold out.
Gee, do people forget how huge Eddie Murphy was?
I don't think so.
And that was bigger. Like, I mean, what? Delirious came out in 82. So yeah, he's right on the heels. Did he wear the purple thing?
Yep, it was that tour. I don't think they were filming, but I think that was definitely the tour where Raw came from.
How did you get in?
I went with a friend. His dad took us.
Oh, that makes.
I just rolled in.
Shocked.
I said, "Look, look
I'm
who it is."
15
It's old Dan Ramirez, old 15-year-old Dan.
with his mullet.
No mullet then, man. No mullet.
Gee, I didn't. You know what's funny? I didn't even think Raw was as funny as Delirious. Like, not even close to as funny as Delirious. Because Delirious was like, I can listen to it today, as problematic as it is, and just literally fall out. As if I never heard Good and Goo Goo before.
Here comes inflation, though. So those were 1980. Let's see. 1987, I saw Iron Maiden for $14, right? Then we start getting into the 90s. So let's see, a Def Leppard. That was the Hysteria tour. That's when Rick Allen lost his arm and came back. $15.50. It's just crazy, bro.
Gee, that is really cheap. Wait, how much was your when you saw the Gold Experience tour?
Oh gosh, I don't have that ticket anymore, bro.
Oh,
I've got some Prince tickets, but I don't have all of my tickets. And then okay, here's one. Day on the Green. That is a festival that used to happen at Oakland Coliseum. And it was like big band. These bands were big back then. So it was Metallica was the closer, Queensryche, Faith No More, and Soundgarden. $28.50. Red Hot Chili Peppers, dude. Here we go. New Year's Eve, Steve. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nirvana, and Pearl Jam. $27.50.
What year was this?
This was 1991. So it was Chili Peppers were doing Blood Sugar Sex Magic, their best album to date, in my opinion. And then, of course, Nirvana came out with Nevermind. So Nirvana was like huge then. They were just starting to like, everyone knew who they were and wanted to see them. And then, of course, Pearl Jam too. Pretty amazing.
I didn't know Blood Sugar Sex Magic came out in 91. Jeez Louise, that's a long time ago. I was in
give that album some love,
junior
dude.
High, G.
You got to give that album love. I'm telling you. If you go back and listen. Since you like the Chili Peppers is why I'm telling you that. Listen to what you like of them now and then go back and listen to that album and you're going to see what I'm talking about.
They're one of the rock groups that made it into like black folks' playlist.
Because they were funky.
Yeah, they had that funk thing. And like me and my boys loved their rendition of Love Roller Coaster. I'm like, oh, that's really fun. Because they were just like, we're not going to try to be the Ohio Players. We're just going to be Red Hot Chili Peppers doing this song. But yeah, Chili Peppers. So how many times have you seen the Chili Peppers?
Probably like 3 or 4 times.
All of the times were good?
Yeah, they were always great. I just stopped liking them after a while.
But your favorite show is Iron Maiden?
Favorite show? You mean just like the best
concert? Just in general, if you're gonna be like, hey, if I'm going to pay for one concert, it's going to be Iron Maiden.
Not necessarily.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If they're touring an album, they tend to play more of what's on that album. And it's kind of a hit or miss for me. I love Iron Maiden. I'll see them every time that I can. But if I didn't catch a tour, I'll be like, that's cool. Like, I'm more bummed about Coheed.
So Coheed's your favorite, like, tour to go to right now? In general, if you don't know what they're playing, you just see their name, you're going to buy Coheed.
It probably comes down to them or Maiden.
That's amazing. I would not Metallica at all, huh?
No.
Because they're going to throw in a lot of old stuff.
Yeah, and they're going to butcher it. James Hetfield butchers the vocals every single time, and Lars Ulrich can't play anymore. People are going to disagree with me on that. And they're going to they're going to continue to spend way too much money to see a band because that's the version of the band that they get to see now. But I got to see them back in the 80s and shit, and it's like they were just a different band. They were angrier, hungrier. They were probably all on drugs too, which may have helped with that, I guess. In all honesty, I think that when James Hetfield sobered up, the music started to decline. But that was my Metallica.
But you told me I should see them.
I think you should see them.
Oh, okay.
I mean, but just as like what we're talking about right now. Oh, I should probably see them because they made a splash. You know, like they made a huge wave. So
and I'm going to know so many of their songs. I'm like, I didn't even know I knew this song.
True. And on top of that, I don't think that you really have the reference to be like, oh, it doesn't sound like it used to.
Oh, that's true.
With that band. I don't. You're going to be in for a hell of a show. Like they always play in the round. They always have huge freaking like I remember one tour they had like these big ass Tesla coils in all 4 corners. of the
that's
stage.
dope, dude.
So it's like zzz, 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 the whole time they're doing like Ride the Lightning and that shit's forming lightning. Like it was really awesome. So I give that to him. It's
Okay,
just that
cool.
I just don't want to spend that kind of money anymore to see them. I don't want to spend that kind of money to see anybody, Steve, to be honest
Except for Coheed.
I mean, okay, let me put this into another example. So, again, this is 1992, right?
Yes.
But I went to Lollapalooza, at which point I saw, oh God, who's on that tour? Give me 2 seconds.
I didn't know you got to see Nirvana live, G.
Yeah, just that time.
Pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. I don't think I've ever seen a dead person live.
I don't think I have either, Steve. It'd be zombies.
You know what I mean. I think everyone I've ever seen is still Prince. Never mind.
You never saw Michael.
No. Well, Prince is the only one that I've seen that's passed away.
So in 92, I saw Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is the Lollapalooza tour. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Ministry, Ice Cube, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Rage Against the Machine, Tool, Cypress Hill, House of Pain, Porno for Pyros, Smashing Pumpkins, Booyah Tribe,
I forgot
and
about them.
Stone Temple Pilots. This is on 2 stages. How much you think I spent?
I would imagine at least $50.
$23.
That is insane.
Amazing, right? Beastie Boys,
Yes.
$17.50. I'm probably boring people by now. I'm just looking at every time I look at these, it just drops my fucking jaw. How little money I spent.
You've seen a lot of people, dude.
Oh yeah, like I'm looking at I have 3 photo albums, if you will, that are just packed with tickets right now. I'm just trying to pull up WOMAD. That was a Bill Graham Presents, and it was at Golden Gate Park. It was like Peter Gabriel, Sinead O'Connor.
Who's Bill Graham?
Bill Graham was a huge Bay Area promoter. He's the one that put on
okay.
all of the Grateful Dead shows. Matter of fact, at Shoreline, they have a shrine to him. Like it's a shrine. If you go back there to this one VIP area, there's like this picture of him, and it just shows all the, I don't know if it shows like everyone he's ever brought, but he was a huge concert promoter in the Bay Area back in the day. He died, I think, in the early 90s. Oh, Janet Jackson, here we go, 1994, $29.75. I paid for that.
Ooh, isn't that like the Velvet Rope or the
That was
Janet,
it was the Janet tour.
Whew. Bruh, when she wore the like halter top, G?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's
was
the
she
one.
was she as good as I imagine?
Oh, yeah. I had a huge crush on Janet back then. Who did I go? It was my sister and I. We went to that concert.
I would imagine that's Selland.
No, it was Oakland Coliseum.
Oh, geez. I didn't. Oh, she was Oakland Coliseum big.
Yeah,
That's right on the heels of. Yeah, that's true, dude. That's right on the heels of Rhythm Nation.
all that
Yes, G. Oh, that would have been a hell of a concert, dog.
Great, dude. It was so good.
Daggone it.
Your friend's
Shoot.
9 Inch Nails I saw for $22.50 back in the day. Diggable Planets.
Where'd you see them?
I saw them at, where did I see them at? The Fillmore in San Francisco.
How were they?
$22.50. It was dope because they had a live band. They were tearing it up, and it was their second album tour. It was a Blowout
Combs.
God
Oh,
damn it.
dude, that was a killer. That is that bow, 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 bow. It's such a good album, G. Such a good. Oh,
That's so dope.
dude. Oh, that's such a good album, dog. They went back on tour.
I would go see them again. I know they probably won't be doing what they were doing back then, but Diggable killed it that night.
Diggable Planets was an underrated group, dude.
Everyone got fixated, dude, on a Cool Like That. That was the problem. Everyone thought, oh,
Yes.
it's going to be a hipster thing. Oh, they have I'm looking on their albums right now. They have a live album from 2017. I have to
Diggable?
check that out. Mm-hmm. Got to check that one out.
And I remember the one that stands out to me that you got to go see was Up in Smoke. Not Up in Smoke. What was the one that came out here with Busta, Erykah Badu, and all them to Fresno State? That was like a classic concert that people
was
talk
the,
about to this day.
Smoking Grooves.
There it is. And dude, people talk about it. They're like, you missed out not going. It was amazing.
Tribe Called Quest. Fugees. Busta Rhymes. I think Cypress was there.
Gee, how good was that concert?
It was fantastic, dude. I remember specifically when Tribe was on, this chick got so pissed off at me because, you know, it was the end of the day. I'd probably been just drinking up a storm, but I was just rapping every single lyric. And I was probably like in the 5th row, and this chick actually moved because I was ruining her experience. But that's okay.
Now, did they do Scenario?
Yeah, they did all that shit. They did everything you wanted to hear.
My son thinks that that's one of the best features of all time was Busta Rhymes' scenario feature.
Ooh.
He's like, that's one of the best features I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, you know what? You might be right. Because that's when Busta, like, who packed the pet to get to rewind. Like, he actually was like, oh, this is Busta Rhymes. He's like, no one's done a feature that well in a song before. I'm like, oh, that's hard to argue. I tried to think of some. I was like, I don't know if they have. Come to think of it. That's a great astute thought. Even though, you know, back in the 90s, we remember when Snoop was featured like 187. We're like, oh, dude, who's this kid?
Yeah, he was just a youngster back then.
Yes, we were like,
who's this little dude?
Yeah, we were like, who is this kid? He's good.
Depending on how that album went, he could have just been back in obscurity in 2 seconds.
Oh, totally. And Dre was a genius because he's like, Snoop is good, but he needs a cosign by somebody like me for the first album. So they did The Chronic together. And then he put out his solo album. I was like, has Dre just always been a genius? Always?
I think so.
Oh, did you get to see, did you go to Up in Smoke?
Yeah, I went to one of those.
You're so you're trash, dude.
I'm just looking at, I'm sorry, I should probably put this thing down, but I'm just looking at all these concerts I've been to. It's so crazy. I saw Gregory Hines perform.
Oh, wow.
A dance thing that he did. But yeah, I saw him in 96. That was like $35.
Have you seen Michael McDonald?
No. I don't want to see Michael McDonald.
Oh, you're the worst. Have you seen Whitney Houston?
No.
I bet you I can name someone you haven't named because of who you are. Let me think. What is a Dan concert? I bet you Dan has seen. Oh, no, not Blink 182. What's that other band? Do you have the time?
Green Day?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen Green Day like 3-4 times. They were good, man.
I knew you saw Green Day.
They weren't really like punk rock or anything, but they were like a poppy punk. And they were catchy, dude. Their American Idiot tour was sick. I loved it.
Blink 182 isn't a shock, but I don't think you've seen them. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't see you buying a ticket to Blink 182. They came out too late. No. Yeah.
I'm thinking that I may have caught them at a Vans Warped Tour, but it was kind of like, oh, there they are. I didn't pay for them to see them.
I liked how they were very conscious of who they were. They're like, yeah, we're a silly boy group that are doing this thing. We're conscious of that. I liked that about Blink.
You know what always bugged me about them?
What?
Is they were grown men writing songs as teenagers. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't know they weren't teenagers.
No, I mean, maybe when they first started out, 18, but their lyrics were always about how, you know, their parents, and they were writing for a certain crowd. I get it. But that's what always bugged me about them. Like, you're a grown ass man. Sing some grown ass man lyrics.
Hey, who sung Stacy's Mom? And like, there's another group like that people still go see to this day on like cruises. Like, they have their own cruises.
They were called Fountains of Wayne.
Oh, okay. So it's not okay. What's that other group that sings? Buddy Holly.
That's Weezer.
Now, have you seen Weezer?
Yes, several times.
How were they?
Good. But the last time I saw Weezer, they made the mistake of having Panic at the Disco open up for them. And Panic at the Disco, they were touring their not this last album, but the one before, which was called Death of a Bachelor, which is just great start to finish. They blew them off stage, bro. And then Weezer came on. And they're like, well, we've got sombreros. You know, they're like, we're going to dress kind of funny. And it just didn't work out very well.
How did they keep their popularity so heavy, though?
They're just constantly putting out music.
Weezer?
Yeah.
I thought they stopped around Buddy Holly.
No, they just no, dude. No, they've been around for a long time. Weezer has, I don't even know how many albums Weezer has, but they have a ton of albums. And then they just put out that cover album where they did Africa.
Oh, I was mad at that, dude.
Why?
I just don't like the cover.
I'm a fan of covers if it's done right. And I think it's fine. Is it going to be Toto? No, but it's fine.
It's totally okay.
I can really piss you off right now. I think I will. I'm going to piss you off. I'm going to get you really mad at Weezer right now. Ready?
What?
Ready?
Yes. Oh, yeah, I'm mad already. I'm mad already.
We're going to have to at least get to the first verse. I could feel you getting angry.
Dang.
Here we go. It's terrible.
She was more like a beauty queen.
Oh no, Dan.
How about this, Jim?
A scrub is a guy that thinks he's fly and is also known as a buster. Always talking about
Dan, we can't do that.
Sure we can. Let's do it some more. Here we go.
No, I don't want your number.
Oh jeez, dude, this is terrible.
I love pissing you off. No, it's pretty bad. I get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know that this was an interesting episode. This is my fault. I woke up late. The only thing that woke me up is because my son's the fire alarm went out. My son set up the fire alarm doing pancakes, and I looked up and it was 11:44. We should have started at 11:30, 11-ish. And so that's my fault. It's been a quick, weird show, and it's been a weird week. And so next time we'll be way back on track because I have a lot of things we're going to talk about. I have a few things I watched, but before we go, I know Dan has some wonderful contact information about how to get in contact with people like Dan, people like myself, people like the Heroes of Noise, people like the private community page. Go for it, brother.
If you want to get a hold of the show, hit us up at heroesofnoisepodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter at Heroes of Noise. You can reach myself, Dan, at DanQPublic, and Steve at SE_Hudson Music. We are on Facebook, guys. We have a private group. It's called the Heroes of Noise Podcast Community, and we want you there. And then what else we got? You can leave us a voicemail at heroesofnoise.com. There you can subscribe to the show. Subscribe to the word, guys. It's coming quickly. I think we have about 40 days left or something like that before we start killing that one. And then also, at that page, you can subscribe at iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all that. Anywhere that you can get podcasts, that's where you'll find us. My name is Dan Ramirez. We will be back next week with a whole bunch of goodness for you. Until that time comes, ladies and gentlemen, be good to yourselves. Be good to the people around you. Peace.